Satbir Arora began his shift on a regular summer day. He worked as a taxi driver, an occupation that not only generated income, but also brought him personal satisfaction. On that day, he was driving around the outskirts of Oxfordshire in search of passengers. He had no idea that he would not only give a ride to his next passenger, but also change her entire life. He did not spend a long time looking for clients. Satbir saw a young girl on the sidewalk, hailing a cab. He stopped and had no idea that in a short while, he and his new acquaintance would be getting out of a difficult situation later. When the girl got into the car, Satbir noticed that she wasn't older than 13. She asked him to take her to the Gloucestershire train station. The destination surprised the taxi driver because it would take over an hour to get there. He also noticed that the girl was visibly nervous. That's when he began having doubts. But as an experienced adult, he decided to clarify the situation first. In general, Satbir was not talkative and did not like to bother and distract passengers with conversations. But he felt that it was his duty to ask the girl why she needed to get to the train station. He had a feeling that her parents didn't know about what was happening. He had many theories, and after noticing the teenager's apparent concern, he decided to relieve the tension by starting a conversation with her. His first question was, why did she need to get to the train station? He asked it casually, so as not to arouse the teenager's suspicion. However, the young passenger did not answer his question and remained silent, which worried him even more. He then asked her what she planned on doing after getting to Gloucestershire, hoping to get at least some kind of answer to his question. The schoolgirl decided to shed a little light on the mystery, but her answer puzzled the driver even more. The mysterious girl said that she was going to meet a friend and hang out with him for a bit. At the same time, she didn't say the name of her friend or where they would go to hang out. Satbir's suspicions grew, but the only thing he could do was keep asking questions. He asked if the girl's parents knew about her little trip. The schoolgirl said that her parents knew about her meeting a friend, but she said it sharply and somewhat defensively. Her answer was not convincing, and Satbir could see that she was hiding something. In short, the man kept asking questions, and with each question, the girl was getting noticeably more tense. Even though he knew that he had no right to ask the schoolgirl so many questions, the situation was truly unique. He felt that in this case, he was allowed to, and even needed to cross certain boundaries. Honestly, it's impossible to know what exactly Satbir felt in that situation, but his heart told him that something wasn't right. He felt that he would blame himself for the rest of his life if he simply kept quiet, or pretended that nothing was going on. The atmosphere in the car was becoming more tense, and the driver had a bad feeling. He understood that his questions could scare the schoolgirl, even though his intentions were good. The closer they were to their destination, the more worried was the girl. When they got to the train station and the car stopped, her eyes started to search for something. She acted shyly, as if she didn't know what to do next. At that point, Satbir smiled at her and asked again, "So who are you going to meet?" Once again, he did not receive an answer to his question. The young girl simply grabbed her backpack, said that she was waiting for a friend, and quickly jumped out of the car. And friends, most likely, others in Satbir's place would have left, because he had many of his own things to attend to, such as making money and other passengers. But our hero decided to act differently. He had a feeling that something was wrong. And after thinking about the situation for a little bit longer, decided to stay at the train station and watch the schoolgirl to make sure that all of his theories were only theories. He even called his wife because he found the whole situation to be strange and wanted to get advice on what to do and whether he was maybe imagining things. But his wife also advised him not to lose sight of the girl. After talking to his wife, Satbir lowered his car window and called over his little young passenger, who at the time was standing in front of the train's central entrance and looking around. The girl came over reluctantly. He said, "Here, take the phone. My wife wants to talk to you." Even though his request was a bit strange, the young girl agreed. From the outside, it looked like she herself didn't know what to do next. Satbir carefully watched the girl as she talked to his wife. His wife asked her whether her parents really did know where she was and who was her mysterious friend. She was asking her questions gently so as to not make the girl nervous. After 5 minutes, the girl trusted the female voice on the other end of the line and admitted that she didn't tell her parents about the trip. She also added that she herself was a bit nervous about the whole situation, but didn't know what to do. Afterwards, she asked the girl to hand the phone back to Satbir and told him to call the police. The taxi driver asked the girl to stay close to his car and called the police. He quickly told them the story and added that they were in need of help. While they were waiting for police officers, he didn't want to scare the child even more, so he joked and tried to lighten the mood. The teenager then began to open up to the taxi driver. She told him that she was meeting a friend she met online. After which, Sudbir was certain that he was right to be worried. He decided to protect the girl from potential danger, and of course, to help her. Their conversation lasted about 20 minutes. Any second now, her internet friend was supposed to show up at the station. The 24-year-old Sam Hellings already arrived at the Gloucestershire station. He held onto his backpack tightly, and his eyes were searching for someone in the crowd. He was the online friend of Sudbir's passenger. Sam was looking for the girl when he noticed 2 police cars. This made him nervous and scared, so he turned around and started walking away from the train station, hoping that nobody would notice him. It is unlikely that people who have nothing to hide act this way. As you probably guessed, this was not the end. The quick-thinking taxi driver asked the schoolgirl to give him her phone so that he could call her new friend. The girl reluctantly gave him her phone, and Sudbir dialed the number of the stranger with whom the girl was supposed to meet. Sam heard the phone ring. He picked up and hung up immediately. Even though a conversation did not take place, Sudbir didn't call again. At that point, nobody knew or could imagine what kind of dark secrets would be soon revealed about Sam. The taxi driver's phone call helped in those revelations. As expected, there were working surveillance cameras at the station. They recorded Sam answering the driver's call, which became indisputable evidence that he was the girl's online friend. It's important to note that the police acted professionally and efficiently. In a few minutes, they searched and arrested Sam, which revealed the troubling fact that he was holding 2 train tickets to the town where he lived. Even worse things were discovered later when searching Sam's diary, where he detailed exactly what he planned on doing to the young girl. The predator planned every detail. Sam would have likely made his plans a reality if it wasn't for the intuition and persistence of an extraordinary taxi driver who could have simply left. This person, if you can even call him that, lured a 13-year-old girl into his trap. It is unlikely that she would have been able to get out of it without the help of Sudbir and his wife. But friends, this wasn't all that the law enforcement officers were able to find out about Sam Hellings. It turned out that the animal was a member of various dark groups. In his bag, the police found a strong sedative and a roll of tape. It is thanks to the caring taxi driver, Sudbir Arora, that the criminal was not able to use these objects on the 13-year-old schoolgirl, who was in such a rush to meet him. The Hellings case was tried in the Royal Court of Gloucestershire. Despite the fact that Sam did not make his plans a reality, the evidence of his intentions was undeniable, and he was found guilty. As for our hero and his wife, the county authorities thanked them officially and said that they committed a truly heroic act. Sudbir Arora received the highest reward from the Gloucestershire police for his assistance in capturing a dangerous criminal. This story shows us that we must always be alert, pay attention to our kids and their interests, as well as not to remain bystanders if we have even the slightest suspicion of danger. In this particular story, the internal intuition of a man saved a 13-year-old girl from the claws of an animal simply because he was not indifferent.